The road to Scottish Summit starts here. This is the Power Platform Podcast. Join Rex de Koning, Ana Inés Urrutia de Sousa, and Paddy Byrne as they talk to the Microsoft community about their stories.
Hello and welcome to the Power Platform Podcast. I got the name of the podcast right, Anna. How's that?
You did it right.
I got it right. I got the name of the podcast right.
Great.
First one. So the Power Platform Podcast, and this is the road to Scottish Summit. I'm Paddy Byrne, and here's my co-host.
Hi, it's Anna. Nice to be with you today.
And today we're joined by Kelly. Kelly, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm functional consultant in the industry, experience in marketing, and I'm from Liverpool.
Oh, you'd never guessed with that accent.
If people say that I haven't got a strong accent, but then others who obviously aren't in the city, it's probably comes across quite strong.
Honestly, I didn't notice. I have a harder time understanding Paddy than I have understanding you, but that speaks about my limitations. A more than Paddy way of speaking. So thank you very much for being today with us. We're very glad to have you. We've been doing some investigations about yourself and what you've been doing and what do you like. Well, what do you like? Yeah, I guess we did that. And we found out that you have a very interesting background. And I think that will be great if you could share it with everyone that's listening, because your story and the journey you got here, without spoiling the future questions that we will ask, it's really, really interesting. So if you can share that with us, it would be great.
Yeah. So how far back do you want me to go?
Since 1991? No.
I wasn't even born then.
Oh, you're making me feel old now.
So I can't tell you about 1991. I guess I can do a quick summary of how when I started studying, I studied psychology university, and in psychology, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I think it's very hard when you're in college to decide what you want to do for your future. And when I was studying psychology, one of the reasons why I chose it is because you had all of the different avenues you can go down, like criminal psychology, child psychology, and I thought out of all of these different avenues, I'll enjoy something. And I ended up falling sort of in love with the consumer, in industry, and understanding like the reasons why purchase behavior and why people would purchase something, that's not good for them, but wouldn't purchase something that could potentially, be a health benefit to them, like hearing aids, for example, and the stigma around hearing aids and the health and everything like that. And that led me into a marketing executive position, funny enough, in a hearing aid manufacturing industry.
Wow.
So that's where my marketing journey began. I mean, they were very supportive. I was very fortunate to work in a role where it was just a team of two. So it was me and my manager. And he was great. Like he was brilliant at like giving me the autonomy and showing me what to do with like Adobe Creative and everything like that. So I got very hands-on with organising events and then helping like audiologists or independent audiologists for UK and Ireland with like their marketing strategies and like their marketing campaigns for selling the products and stuff. So it was really fun, really, really interesting. And then I sort of thought, I want to do something a little bit more analytical. So I ended up going into the employer branding industry. And in the employer branding industry, like my role was very much at the foundations of employer branding. So going in to companies and understanding and getting to the nitty gritty of why people love what they do and why people are, working at a particular company, why they're in the role, what they enjoy about it, what they hate about it. And you can probably imagine a few years ago when I was in that position, all of the recruiting agencies that we were doing the work for at PH Creative, they were recruiting heavily in the tech industry. So it was all the tech individuals that I was speaking to on a daily basis, and I was thinking, oh, I'd love to be able to do something, like what these guys do. These seem very passionate about the role and enjoy it and the flexibility and stuff. And I didn't think having a psychology degree that I'd actually be able to get into tech. I didn't think it was possible. I always had my understanding of tech is going to IT, going down that route, getting into the industry that way. And it was actually my sister Elise, who's also she's in the industry. She told me about Power Objects and their like consulting and training program, and she was like, oh, I think you'd be a great fit at the company. She told me everything about the company, and I thought, I'm very interested in getting into the tech role that way. And it was like I think it was around 6 or 8 weeks, like intense, like master class, of power, like the whole like system of sales, customer service, Power BI, and I mean, I'm pretty sure the system's probably changed since then because of all the releases, but because I've not touched Power BI probably since. But it was intense, and I'm not going to lie. The first 2 weeks, I actually rang Elise and I was like, "What have you got me into here? Like, I can't understand this. I don't know anything in this. It might as well be in Spanish, like for all as I know." But it was amazing because at the end you do like a little mini project, and it was just very, very much like you learning from everyone, and everything just starts clicking together, and you're like, okay, so that's what that means, and that's what that is. And the journey sort of took off from there, really, into the industry.
It's a really fun story. And I was surprised when I was doing my research. I'm also a psychologist, and I had a very similar path that you had. I started in psychology, and then I thought the same as you did. Okay, I want to work with people, but human resources, like the diploma, is too tight. It's just too niche. So maybe I do psychology, and if I end up in HR, perfect. But if I don't like it and I want to go, to clinical or whatever, it's like multi-option. So it was the same process that you went through, and here we are in tech.
I think that's a fantastic story. Have you ever spoken about that in a session or anything, Kelly?
No, I've not. No, I'm open to like people who I talk to and stuff about how I got into it, but no, I've never done it.
I think that would make a fantastic session for a conference or event. I absolutely think that your next session submission should be based on that story, because it's really inspirational. Particularly, when you are young and you go to get you go to degree. I went to university. I did physics. Everybody said do tech because I was quite good at tech. And I was only 16 when I went. I applied, so I knew better than everybody else. So I did physics, and I completely flunked out. And you don't know. I'm like, what am I going to do? That's me. I've ruined my life. Well, I'm never going to get a job, because you think that when you're that age, you're young. You think, that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I just started from the ground up and just worked at a call center, technical call center, and found CRM and built Dynamics. But I think that's such an inspirational entry.
You should. And I'm writing down the homework. I have it.
I will make note of that. So for next year's session, I'll make note of that.
Yes, please. I think it's something meant to be shared. A lot of people believe that without a background on a system engineering background, you cannot. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing time and time again that this is not the case. If you have the business knowledge and the appetite to learn, that's all you need.
Yeah. I mean, and Microsoft make it so easy to learn. Like, let's be honest. Like, I've never been in an industry where there's just so much information at like your fingertips.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're never alone as well, because you have that community. And you have, even though it's not coming from Microsoft, if you find that you're out of depth, or you feel out of depth, then you're not just out of depth all alone. You've got a whole community to look at and be in contact. And build relationships with and help you out.
And you know what? That's one of the things that I have, you know, when like I was talking to everyone in the tech industry, that's one of the things that sort of stuck home a little bit with me, because they were saying, you know, I mean, I've seen it for myself now, being in the industry. You go on LinkedIn, someone asks a question, and the amount of people that will respond and say, have you tried this? Have you done? I just think it's fantastic. It's such a good community to be part of.
Very good. But don't spoil. We have more questions coming.
Okay.
Patty, go ahead.
Yeah. So what you've talked about, you work at Power Objects, and you're a functional consultant in marketing. What do you do in your day-to-day role, both professionally and then also can you touch on some of your community work?
Yeah, so professionally, so currently I'm a lead functional consultant now. So after the project, after the training, I went onto a project which was very much marketing, and that allowed me to completely understand, you know, the marketing platform. And then we started to do like the different, you know, spread out into a little few other work streams. And then, yeah, I've just been put on, like most recently, as a lead on so day to day, you know, it's your typical, you're gathering requirements, understanding them, helping sometimes with the acceptance criteria, because I think sometimes even that, understanding the gaps, that's what I've now started to learn, is it's not always just the one sentence that's being asked for. It's, oh yeah, and we meant this as well. So yeah, so teasing out the gaps, and building, and it's the build that I absolutely love, and the satisfaction that you get from when you actually test something and it works the way you expect it, and if it does it first time, it's even better. It's like, oh yes, you've got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's only, I'd say, in this project recently where I've been sort of getting into the depths of Power Automate and starting to work with that now, because all of the other stuff that I've been working on has been, you know, like business rules, business processes, and all of the flows or the model driven apps. But yeah, the Power Automate, that is their I'm learning and I'm getting there. I'm definitely not an expert yet, but we'll see how that goes over the next couple of years, I guess. So yeah, that's sort of me day to day, with the build requirements, and I'm going on I'm just getting ready for a UAT, so like training for the project that I'm on. So I'm actually I'm getting on a plane for that one. So it'll be the first time in 3 years that I've sort of left. So that'll be interesting. Seeing people's faces and face to face, because I work remote. I'm very, very fortunate, I guess, working remote in this. But then I think it's norm for this industry. I don't know.
Yeah, it's now. Yeah, the flexibility is really good in this industry, because you know you can go and do something, and as long as you get doing the work and you're available between certain times, most companies understand that you do have a life outside of work as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I just can't get over the fact that I can drop the kids off at the school, and then it's like, yeah, it's fine, and I can go and just pick them up, and it's fine.
Which is completely reasonable, right? Why shouldn't you? But yeah, some industries are a bit more advanced than others, let's say.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's it, sort of in a day-to-day job. And then with regards to like the community, it was a Scottish Summit event that got me into more of the sessions and the speaking. So it was last year was my first attendance to a community event, and it was fantastic, great first experience. And just seeing, I think what overwhelmed me was the amount of people. Like, you don't realize when you're at a desk or when you're in a company of how big the industry is, and how many people are actually around you for support, and not just in the company that you're in. So that was an eye opener, definitely. And then I've been writing blogs. So I actually started writing the blogs when I went on maternity leave. Now this is going to sound terrible now, but I thought when I was on maternity leave, I had a bit of time to spare when the baby was sleeping and stuff, and I was thinking, oh, I wonder what features have been, like released, or trying to keep on top of it. But then, it sounds terrible.
Last time.
Great.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
But I don't know. I think second time round, there's only so much Peppa Pig and Cocomelon and stuff like that you can listen to before you go like mind crazy. So I was like, oh, yeah. 'Cause, the reason with me writing stuff in maternity leave as well, though, I think because I was so new to the industry. Now this is going to sound, it's just me worrying. I was thinking, I don't want people to forget me. Like when I go off on projects, if when you, because I'd only been in like, I think it was about 18 months, and then I was on maternity leave. I was thinking, oh, like what if they forget about me, and then I come back and it's the system has just changed completely all over again. So I thought, right, I'll start a blog and I'll do my notes and I can refer to that, and I'm keeping up with the feature releases, and yeah, it's amazing how much can change in 6 months, to be fair. So
Yeah, your blog is very impressive, and I love how it looks. How you build it up. It's very appealing to read. I wanted to
thank
say
you.
something. It's good that you did this stuff during maternity leave, because if you just do baby stuff, I would think you go crazy, right?
Yeah,
All day
definitely.
songs and yeah, no.
You,
You answered already, but I'm going to ask you again. Your involvement in Scottish Summit during like the previous years and the previous editions,
mhm.
besides what you just shared, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, so I think so the Scottish Summit that I mean when I attended last year, and it being in Manchester, um, I just thought it was brilliant. Of just how many sessions were available. I mean, you're almost spoilt for choice, and it was like I think, oh, which one
Yeah,
do we go to? And that's it's a good problem to have, but it's
yeah.
also like, oh, I need to see. I wish I could have seen their session. So I think it's great for definitely for people who haven't been before, to get a taste for the community and to learn, because you definitely learn. I mean, I attended quite a couple of the sessions which were very like fast paced of like 10 like top 10 tips, or
Yeah.
because I was fairly new to the industry still, so they I found them really beneficial for like it's almost like quick best practices that you wouldn't sort of have in day-to-day discussions, because everyone at times can be busy, so I found those really useful and helpful, and I definitely came away with a lot more friends in the industry than I had previously as well.
It's a very welcoming community, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I say one of the great things with these events as well is that you do get that sort of quick overview, and then if you want to, you can ask the questions. A lot of the times, the virtual events are watching, pre-recorded webinars, training videos, etc.
Hmm.
You don't have that interaction. You can't say, "Oh, hold on, 1.5 there. Why did you do that?" And I
Yeah,
find that a really good thing at these events, being able to just engage with whoever's presenting and teaching you.
yeah, because I mean, I know obviously there's some sessions are bigger than others, but the couple that I attended, because there was a nice amount of people in the room, it was very much like interactive and question and answering, and just almost like a mini discussion and conversation in the middle of it. But it wasn't like it didn't feel like wasn't supposed to be happening. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very relaxed. That's a good, yeah,
Yeah. And
session.
even, I mean, the session that I held last year, because that was on more of the taking my sort of learnings from the real world of marketing and what I found in the job day to day and how the system can help it. Um, just like the questions that people are asking, because I think unless you've been in that role, sometimes it's as a developer you can say, oh yeah, yeah, we can do that, but should you actually in practice do that for a particular function? I mean, the example like we were talking about in the session that I had was, we were asked to lock down the color of a button being changed, on like on the forms and the emails that you send out and stuff. So it could only be the one color. And I was like, yeah, we can do it, but why? Like, why do you want to lock the button so it's only one color? Like, what happens for like LGBTQ days, or Sad Monday, or Cyber Monday, the Blue Friday, and sorry, Blue Monday, not Blue Friday. But but in those little instances where you actually want to be able to change them, or Valentine's Day. So yeah, it was good discussions and learning. Even as I was presenting, I was still learning from people in the room as well, which was great. So it's a sort of a two-way street, not just like you sharing your experience. You actually get that engagement back and learning as you're presenting, which is good too. And it's a good confidence boost for presenting, because you're presenting to people day to day, but it's a different type of presentation, and it just helps with those skills as well.
Excellent. So what's your involvement in Scottish Summit this year?
So this year I'm going to be attending. So I'll be attending the session. I've actually got family in Scotland, so I'll be using it as a good opportunity as well to go and see them, because my dad's Scottish. I used to live in Scotland as well when I was younger. So it'd be good to go back up to the Highlands.
Are you going to be attending for the whole weekend then, or are you just going to the one event, or are you doing the?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the weekend, and then but probably make it a week if I can.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good. So we'll see you there. I mean, we will. Yes. We're seeing you here, but we're going to see you in person there. That will be great. What is one of the things that you're most looking forward from the event? What do you want to learn or experience, or what are you expecting from it?
I think probably for me, I think it's more around the Power Automate. I know everyone's probably thinking, Copilot and AI and everything, but because it's a hot topic, if you don't say Copilot once a day, are you even in the industry? But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Power Automate sessions, and and learning a little bit of tips and best practices around building those flows, or complex flows, not just your usual triggering an action. If there's anything that's quite complex, I'll be definitely attending those ones.
I do believe Power Automate. I'm a Dynamics HR person, but Power Automate is one of my favorites platforms that we have in Power Platform. And it's very important to learn about it if you're going to prompt after using Copilot. So Power Automate is one of those things that you need to know how it works to be able to prompt it with the Copilot. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the exact good thing to do. Yeah. Good. Yes. So I'll see you in the Power Automate sessions together.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Power Automate, just about every implementation that I do within Dynamics or Power Platform has an element of Power Automate in it. You've got to know it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not building flows, you've still got to know how to explain how a flow is built to whoever is going to build it.
See, because I could, if you asked me to do, the classic process flow, or the using the old system, I can do that and I can get it to work. But but I didn't. The best part of it was the consulting and training program focused on Power Automate and the new Automate, and I never learned that system. And it was because of the project that I went on to had a few of them, and I could understand. But it's just a Power Automate. It was my Achilles heel for a little bit, and I say I'm starting to get there now with it and get to grips. Maybe I've avoided it for as long as I possibly could in some ways as well. I was like, do I need to know that? But yeah, I've took the jump, as they say.
Kelly, you'll never walk alone. We have a good company at Scottish Summit. Sorry, I couldn't resist that.
Good job, I'm a Liverpool fan and not an Everton.
Yes. I know we did a research. We know you're a Liverpool fan. Yeah, we did a research. Someone told us you're a Liverpool fan. So I said it. I promised myself I wasn't going to do any bad jokes. I couldn't do that. We talked about Achilles' heels and
yeah. Don't let it slip. I've heard that one before as well. Yeah. Do you know what I am gutted about Klopp though? I'm really, really gutted about Klopp. I think we all are. But
I don't know anything about football. Sorry, Kelly.
He was the manager, and he was an amazing manager, and he brought an already close City even closer. It was just amazing what he done with the community. But yeah, that's a subject for another day. And when I see him in person, I'll chat football.
you need to chat. There's a few Liverpool fans in the community, isn't there? Malon's a Liverpool fan. And Mark Beard's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Cookie's a Liverpool fan. So you're loads of Liverpool fans within the community, and you'll be in person.
We can do the match for you. We can be your co-pilot.
So if you see us crying in a corner and at any time during Scottish Scum, it'll be because we're talking about Klopp. We still won't have got over it.
Still not got over it. Okay. There was another question I was going to ask. So you're involved in a user group as well, you mentioned.
Yeah.
I just wanted to dig a wee bit more into that. Yeah,
so in January, I was asked to present. So Malin, Pauline, so Malin had approached me to present for the CDX, the community user group. So I ended up presenting on there, and then after I'd presented, they reached out to me and just said, "Oh, would you fancy helping us out with some of the the like using the system, of like the day-to-days of the group, really, of creating the events and like helping with the blogs." I mean, I've only dipped my toes into it yet, but yeah, it's been good to just be involved in like conversations with them like on a regular basis outside of work, where it's just because quite a few of them are involved in the marketing as well, and marketing's quite niche. So yeah, just being able to touch base with people who are also, having similar struggles. And then I've also, outside of the community, I've actually got Megan Wog. She's like mentoring me. So she's been a great help in sort of, giving where if I've got like really stuck, or she's trying to help me work towards the MVP, albeit I've not posted probably as many blogs as I could have done the last couple of months because it's just been chaotic at home, shall we say, with the kids.
I will stop you there, because I don't think like the amount of blogs is what it counts. Is the quality of the work that you bring to the community, and you're sharing an amazing story, and you're knowledgeable in what you do. You're supporting the user group, so don't worry about the amount of blog posts that you do. That's not the main point.
Yeah.
More underneath.
That's good for me to know then, because I see some, there's some people in the community, the blogs that they write are fantastic, but they've got like knowledge fountains, like the amount of information and content that they get and they can post. But I've just, it's been a bit chaotic. I don't know if you've seen one of the last blogs that I had. It was just like with the kids and their health. It's been, I'm not even joking. In February and March, I must have spent about 40 hours in A&E, like just waiting, and that's before, because it was like one in, one out, one back in again, and one out again. So yeah, but we're finally on the normality. So I might have a bit of time to start writing the blogs again.
The thing is, the best thing to do is just take it in your stride. The MVP thing. The best thing that someone said to me once was, it's not a certification that should be like worked towards. It's an award for what you've done, and you've enjoyed doing what you're doing. It's not like a Microsoft cert that you should get and you must strive to get. And some people say it like that, and some people do that, and it works really well for them. But I find just do it for the love of it. And it'll come.
And I think that for some people it works posting blogs. For some other, it works videos. It's not that we have a unique path to get there. It's more than the fact of just working towards the community is what will lead you to that path, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's
good. It sounds like you're doing loads anyway. I wouldn't worry about it. Is there any more questions, Anna, or should we sign off?
No.
I don't have any more questions.
I'm very excited about the fact that you're a psychologist. I love it. I'm looking forward to see you in person, to have a conversation. I don't speak football language, but I can speak psychology language. We can
speak about Freud, no problem.
Will do. So yeah, thank you very much for being with us today. But I will hand it over to Patty.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Kelly. We've not got Rex with us. He usually does the bits at the bottom of the screen. He's celebrating. He's celebrating his MVP. So this will probably be why once the news is out. So congratulations, Rex. It's so well deserved. He's an absolute legend in the community. So we're missing him tonight. But if you want to come on the podcast, it's scottishsummit.com/podcast. Anna, where do we get tickets?
Where do we get the tickets? I always forget about those things. It's coming. You can read it underneath. Get your free tickets from scottishsummit.com.
/tickets.
/tickets.
See, this is what happens when Rex's not here. We don't have the scroll.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he's a wizard. And I'll try the hashtag. The hashtag for all your social media posts is #Scottish Summit 2024. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
The road to Scottish Summit starts here. This is the Power Platform Podcast. Join Rex de Koning, Ana Inés Urrutia de Sousa, and Paddy Byrne as they talk to the Microsoft community about their stories.